Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how we can pass variable arguments to a function. I have this sum function here and that is receiving two parameters and it is returning the sum of these two values to the caller. But when we need to call this sum function, we always need to pass two parameters. Passing three parameters or any other number of parameters other than two is not going to work. But sometimes we need a function where we may need to pass on any number of arguments or parameters, and in that case we need to make the function capable of receiving variable arguments. For example, we can notice this printf function. It can receive any number of arguments. I think you know this, that printf can be supplied with any number of arguments and it works fine. Say I need to print three integers, then I can just write the format string in this way and I can just pass on three values here, and they are going to be printed. So in this case printf is receiving four arguments. The first one is the fixed argument, that's the character pointer containing some string message and format information about the values that it needs to be printed. Okay, so we can pass on a character as well here, and in that case one more argument that the printf is going to receive. So in this case the printf is receiving 1 2 3 4 5 arguments. So it's quite possible to write a function in C that's going to receive any number of arguments. Say we need to modify this sum method in such a way that it's going to receive any number of arguments and return the sum of all those values that we pass into the sum method. So in order to do that, we can just go ahead and declare its formal argument in this way. So count is the number of variable arguments that the sum function is going to be supplied with. That's necessary. And then this dot dot dot, this dot 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 is actually called ellipsis, and that's going to be declared in the formal argument of the function if the function is intended to receive variable number of arguments. This is where the variable argument is going to be captured. So whenever we need a function capable of receiving variable arguments, we need to use this ellipsis. So in this case we can pass on any number of arguments to the function sum. Now for this example I am considering that all the variable arguments that we are going to pass to the sum function are of integer type. And the next tutorial I am going to show you how we can pass different types of values as variable argument and how we can fetch those different types of values in function. So for the time being it's only integer type. So if the sum function is supposed to sum up four integer numbers, then we just need to call the sum function in this way. The first one is the fixed argument that is going to tell the sum function how many variable numbers of arguments are there. So we are passing four variable arguments here, 20, 10, 4 and 2. These are going to be received here in the dot dot dot, and for the first one it's the count. That's going to tell the sum function that how many numbers of values are there in dot dot dot. So here we go, we need a sum variable s in order to accumulate the values, and at the end we are going to return back this s to the caller. In order to parse these variable arguments, we need to include this header. This header contains all the necessary functionalities that we can use in order to parse and fetch the values from variable argument list, and that's stdarg.h. First of all, in order to fetch the variable argument list, we need to declare an object of type va_list, and this va_list type is declared there in stdarg. Typically it's declared as ap. You can give any name, no problem. Now we need to create this variable list with the values of variable arguments that is passed here in the function, and for that purpose we have this function va_start. This is going to create the variable argument list ap dynamically, and it requires two parameters. The first one is the list itself, and the second one is the last fixed argument after which the variable argument starts. So here after the variable count, after the declaration of count, the variable argument is starting. So count is the last fixed argument after which the variable argument starts, so it should be count here. So VA underscore list is going to capture all the values and it's going to create the list dynamically and it's going to assign the variable arguments to that list. So we are having the variable argument list here in AP now. So now we can go ahead and iterate through the list and fetch the values one after another. And for that I'm writing a for loop. I equals to 1 and I should go up to I less than equals to count because there are a count number of arguments. And in order to fetch the values from VA underscore start, we need to call the function VA underscore arg. And VA underscore arg is going to fetch the values from AP. So the first parameter is the list from which the VA underscore arg is going to fetch the value, and second is the type information, the type of the value that we are supposed to fetch. So this is going to return the next value in the argument list, and we need to accumulate this in the variable sum. So here we go, s plus equals to VA arg. So that's going to add up all the values in the variable argument list. So at the end, when we come out of the for loop, we need to deallocate the list, and for that purpose we have this VA underscore end. Always call this when your job is done with the variable argument list. That is going to deallocate the dynamically allocated argument list. And so we are done. We are returning the sum here to the caller. Let me show you the execution result. I'm going ahead and running this program. So the sum function is called with 4 and these 4 arguments. So they are going to be added up by the sum function and the result is going to be returned back here in K. So here we go. You can see that the sum is 36. Now if we need to add up 5 numbers, for example, say I'm passing on 10 again here as the variable argument, as a part of the variable argument. So these are the 5 values that we are passing as variable arguments. So they are going to be received here. So here we go. So now it is 46. So that's how we can receive variable arguments in a function. In the next tutorial I'm going to show you how we can pass on and capture different types of values in variable argument list. Thank you for watching.